Hi FlossTube Stitchers. I'm going to start today's video by showing you some cute pictures of our dog Sophie. We've had her for about a month and I don't want to keep refreshing my phone. I want it to be ready, so I thought I'll just start with them. I think I've practiced enough times to know to hold it at a little bit of an angle and then cover up the bottom. That way there's not so much glare. So I know you probably can't tell, but she is lounging in the area between the back of the sofa and the actual cushion. And we put a dog crate liner up there to make it more comfortable. But it's her favorite spot. I guess because she's a small dog, you know, they can see into several different rooms. But Oliver actually started this a couple of years ago. And the only reason we let him was because he was such a smaller dog than what we had been used to. And I thought, well, how much damage could a 12-pound dog do? No, he completely made a big divot in the cushion, and I'm constantly trying to push the stuffing, you know, back up where it belongs. But we knew we were getting a new sofa, so I wasn't too worried about it. But now I'm worried that we let them have this bad habit, and we're not going to let them do it on the next one. But this is how I found her this morning. This is not the same sofa. This is a love seat that's in our little breakfast nook, and it's right near the sliding glass doors where we take the dogs outside. And she has slept there before, but she's never climbed up on the cushions like that. But I have 4 swatches of fabric for the new sofa, and I think she picked her favorite. Oh my gosh, she's so darn stinking cute. So we'll have to decide later. We really like this particular swatch. It's the darkest one, and it might be too dark for the other room's lighting conditions. It almost looks black, but it's the softest one. So I've joked to my husband that she picked it for us because it's soft. It's still durable and pet friendly, and I forget what term they use for this kind of fabric, but anyway. Then I have another story to tell you. So I was stitching the other night and my feet were cold, so I had a fleece over the, you know, bottom part of my legs, and I had been eating a couple cookies out of a Rubbermaid container, and instead of putting my stitching down and, you know, putting the container away in the pantry, I just set it on the floor underneath my tray table, and I forgot it was there. So a little bit later in the evening, I heard this chick, 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 and I couldn't figure out what it was. Well, Sophie had come over, and you know, they have such a good sense of smell. And she came over and she grabbed the edge of the lid of the Rubbermaid container, and she just ran off with it. And it ended up, she just set it next to her bed. She didn't take it in her crate. She usually steals things and puts them in her crate, but she just dropped it there, and I just thought it was hilarious. So I couldn't get her to pose with it though, so it's just the cookies. But anyway, so stay tuned for our trials and tribulations with the new sofa and not letting them up there. We're actually getting something that is not as cushy, and I think it's going to discourage them from doing that. Anyway, let's move on to some stitching. My vintage piece this week is called Birdhouse Square from Seacus & Company. And Sue was a friend of mine when she lived in Ohio, and she stitched this for me for my birthday one year. My birthday's in April, but she knows I love Patriotic. So she actually did her own piece in Patriotic colors, which I thought was kind of cool because it was, you know, very personal to me. I think you might have trouble finding this chart, but if you look, it's by Seacus & Company, S-E-K-A-S, and it's called Birdhouse Square, and just be aware that it doesn't look like this on the front cover. So I don't have those anymore, but I do have some others in her square series, and these were done on 10 count fabric using pearl cotton. And if you remember, she's a designer who was combining needlepoint stitches with cross stitch fabric. So There's a lot of specialty stitches, and she used thicker fibers like pearl cotton. So I do have multiple copies of these. The Christmas Hearts Square and Leprechaun Square, Santa, the snowman, and the turkey. And keep in mind that you don't have to stitch it on the 10 count, and you don't have to use pearl cotton. You can take the design and do it on your regular Aida, even weave, or linen, and use the same fibers, the same colors in a different thickness. So if she used watercolors, you could use the same color in water lilies or wildflowers, or just pick your own color. So they're still useful even if you don't want to use the chunkier looking fabric. So that's that. Then we have two new shop models, and they were both stitched and framed by Bonnie Safran of Valley Framing. And the first one is a kit from Just Another Button Company. This is called Home of the Free, and it's 1950. And they actually have a series of these perforated paper kits. They're called Needle Print and Play. And they put the design on the paper and then design something for it, and then of course choose some of their very cute buttons. Look at the serious face on that eagle. I just love it. So I don't have these yet, but I do have them on order. And if you're interested, I'm also getting some Halloween ones. Then the second one that she did, let's see, I'm going to put cardboard in between these pieces. I've shown this on, I've shown both of them, I think, on social media already. So if you follow me, you may have seen it. But this is a Stitches by Ethel chart called Day at the Beach. And it's one of her crow series. She doesn't call it that. We call it that. And this is actually two frames put together. So the stars on the black frame mimic the stars in the background, and it helps give it a little more of a patriotic look for summer without it being completely patriotic. There's actually a newer design of hers that I probably already showed you that's all patriotic, but this kind of works for Bonnie because she loves the beach, and it kind of gives her the entire summer vibe in one picture. So we do have these charts in stock, and let's see, I think there's one more in the series that Bonnie hasn't stitched yet, and that was for fall or Halloween, I forget. So stay tuned for that one. Somebody asked me what fabric she stitched it on, and I'm not sure. She's been a part of a few Fabric of the Month clubs, which those colors are not always immediately available. Sometimes the companies save them for a year or decide how popular they were before they introduce them into their regular line. So I'm not really sure, but it's kind of a gray blue mottled look. And it's just perfect for that. So that's that. All right, then I have a fully finish. I haven't shown this for a while, and I don't know if it was because the frame wasn't immediately available. Because remember, I said I gave Bonnie a bunch of pieces, but we picked all different frames, and she doesn't order from every company every week. So this is by Cottage Garden Stitchery, called Be Happy. And there's a little gold fillet inside the frame. And I'm just enchanted by those blue wings. I just think it's so pretty. So I'm excited to sometime this summer redo my hutch that has bee things on it. I actually have no stitching on that hutch. It's just been bees, bees, bees. I don't even change the kitchen hutch for the different holidays. I've just kept it all bees, but it's other types of decor. There's no stitching there. So I really want to practice rearranging it and putting some stitching in there. Although most of my stitching, the newer things are here, I can take them home, play with them, and take a picture. And then if I'm having company or something, then I know how to rearrange to add the stitching there. All right, then I'll talk more about that later because I want to have kind of a bee theme in August. So I have 2 whips that I'm working on. Well, actually I have 3, but I'm not going to show you the baby sampler. I got a little nervous that YouTube might have chosen that as the screenshot. When I share my link on social media, I don't share just the link. I share what I took as a screenshot so that I can plan it better. And so it's not some weird, you know, picture of my hand up in the air or I'm coughing or, you know, it's blurry. So I was just a little worried that she might catch a glimpse of it. She doesn't watch my videos regularly. She probably only watched like the first one, or maybe she watches the Christmas ones when there's family pictures in there. But you know how YouTube tells you what the new videos are. And I was just afraid that luckily they didn't show it last time. But I was worried that for some reason that would end up being their advertisement of my video and that she might see it amongst her new videos, even though she doesn't, you know, watch them all regularly. So anyway, my great niece was born on June 30th, and the name they chose for her is June Margaret, and they said it would be June even if she was late. June means young, and Margaret means pearl or priceless, and they weren't sure of the middle name, but they had just seen the movie, is it called Dear God, It's Me, Margaret? They had just seen that and they said, oh, well, that goes with June. That's pretty. So that's one of the reasons why they chose that. They were looking for older names and they didn't want any crazy nicknames, but we didn't even know what was in their top 10 list. So we didn't find out until right after she was born. So I couldn't work on the bottom part of the sampler until I knew the name because you would maybe have to rechart it. And I did because I wasn't sure I wanted June, like just the name June and then the date June. So I decided to rechart it to put June Margaret. So anyway, I'm moving along on that, but I'm not going to show it to you until after it's finished and framed and sent off to them and they've received it. So anyway, that's one of my whips. The second whip is Forever in Peace by Sweet Wing Studio. And before I forget, I just wanted to say, I found this mistake myself and I was going to report it to her, but I decided I would look on her website to see whether she had an oops page. Well, she doesn't, but in her case, if you click on the picture for this, she does have an errata at the bottom. So the symbols for the very last row are reversed. And it probably would look just as cute with the colors reversed, but I kind of like the way there's a dark, and a dark. And so I decided I would like to do it the way the front cover shows rather than the symbols on the actual chart. But this is so much fun because every row is different. I'm really having a lot of fun with it. All right, if you notice any tails from the back, it's because I was afraid if I made a mistake, it would be too hard to take out. So I just kind of pulled them to the back. But this is how much I've done so far. I'm using 36 count flax Edinburgh, using most of the suggested colors. I think I changed the reddish pinks because of availability. And it was something I had on hand. But anyway, it's really fun. I can't wait to add the blue, but I need to, oh, there you go. There you see my tails. I need to press this part of it so that I can turn it upside down and start working the blue field. And I can't do it when it's all curled like that. So I'm not going to move on to the blue for a little bit yet. So then I was very inspired by the summer stitching slideshow from last week. I really enjoyed seeing everybody's patriotic pieces, and I saw one that I needed a little help finding, and the stitcher reached back to me. I'm so sorry, right now I can't think of whose it was, but if you go back and watch the video, you'll see. But she let me know that it was a free chart on Thread Milk Designs website, and I thought, of course, I knew it looked familiar, but there's a lot of things with bells, and the color picture is shown in the Statehood Series companion book, and it says to go to the website. So you just download it And it's like you're actually purchasing something, but the price is zero, and then you just get a link, you know, to get to the chart. So she has 4 Patriotic ones up there, so I did all of them. So I just couldn't bear to not start another Patriotic. I really think I'm going to continue stitching Patriotic throughout July. It wasn't exactly what I planned, but there are so many things I still want to stitch. So I'm going to keep going on it. And I'm not sure what she used, but the designer called for Classic Colorworks gingerbread, and I was a little skeptical until I saw the color in person, and it really is kind of a bronzy gold. So I decided while I still have other whips, with anything new I'm just going to put 1 length of thread in, and then I have to go back to the other whips. So I just did one yard length. And this is 1 strand over 36 count Wren from Picture This Plus. I'm going to do all 4 of the Patriotic ones, but not in a row because I have other things I want to do too. So that is all my stitching. Then what's new? I'm going to have to show more of what's new next week or the week after because a lot of things have to be reordered. That's what I get for having the slideshow in the middle of 2 videos because I ended up selling things that I thought I would be showing you today. But anyway, we did get the Hands-On Design Auto. I'm sorry about the frog in my throat. I've started several sections over again because of it, but it doesn't seem to be leaving me. So the first one is a vintage stitch, and it's a hexie design, which is so cute. And she shows it as a big pillow and a little pillow. But if you go to her fan group on Facebook, somebody did this as a lid to their Longaberger basket. What a great idea for a sewing basket. So that's really cute. And then Oh Christmas 3. And I've already been asked if I'm going to carry the color and cotton threads, although you can certainly make substitutes easily, but I am going to order them. And yeah, I didn't have a single one of them in stock, so I am going to order those. I'm definitely going to stitch Noel. I'm probably going to do all 3 of them, but I'm going to start with the reindeer, but I'm going to wait until I get the thread so that I have, right now we don't have any models stitched in color and cotton, so I think I'll wait for those to come before I do that. Then she has the Pocket Neighborhood with those 2 designs. And this is the start of a new series called the Berry Basket, and this is strawberry. I've not done a strawberry yet. I do have a strawberry collection. I really like the shape of this. It's very different from the other strawberry pincushions and things I have, so I'm definitely going to put this on my to-do list. Then we got the Just Cross Stitch Halloween issue for this year, and you know what, do they have yeah, so this is the front cover. I'm sure you've seen it, but what I really love is when they show you all of the designs so you can look at a glance and see which ones you want to do. I really love that one, and there's all kinds of orange fabric tones that you could use. So I think I'll do that one. And the other one that's getting a lot of attention is this one because it's not specifically Halloween. And that would look good in a lot of different colors too. So that's that. Yes, over 50 projects for $9.99. Then we also got the summer issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And of course, the summer issue has lots of patriotic. It even makes me want to pick up my punch needle again because there's so many cute projects. But I picked my favorite to show you, and it's by Cherry Hill Stitchery. Okay, I'm going to try to show it without showing the punch needle design on the other side. But it's called Honey Love, and it's done on 32 count Belfast in vintage smoky white. It has a little bit of a stamped, over-dyed effect that isn't showing up that well in the picture. But it's one of the, from the vintage line of Zweigart. But you could do it on a lot of different neutrals. So I love that one. And As a shop owner, I often think I have no business stitching out of a magazine because the magazine will be out of print sooner than a regular chart would. But a lot of these designs are put out afterwards, maybe a year later or 2 years later. And darn it, I bought the magazine, and this is one of my favorite themes to stitch, so I think I'm still going to go ahead and stitch it and, you know, hope that maybe later she'll put it out as a chart. So anyway, that is all I have to show you that's new. Okay, so I had this note here so I wouldn't forget to tell you. For the last in-store sale that we had, I did a table of designers that are buy one, get one. And I'm not discontinuing them. I love all these designers and there's no issue at all. It's just that maybe their bins were a little overflowing or I had too many of the same chart. A lot of them were left over from automatics or trunk shows or market purchases where maybe I just bought a few too many. So I'm not discontinuing these designers. I'm just trying to make room for new merchandise from the online show that's going to be at the end of August. So I decided to keep the sale going for the rest of the summer. And honestly, my visiting stitchers on vacation are really having fun with it. And I'm slowly working on a list of the titles that I have in PDF form so that if you say, oh, that's my favorite designer, what do you have left? Or I've never stitched anything from that designer, let me see what you have, so that I could send you a PDF file to look at. So anyway, the designers are Amy Bruecken, AuryTM, Chessie Me, Heartstring Samplery, Hello from Liz Mathews, Hinzeit, Homespun Elegance, Kathy Barrick, Lucy Beam, Manny Donna, Nebby Needle, Peacock Fig, Romy's Creations, ScissorTail Designs, and Val's Stuff. So keep that in mind. Replay this if you didn't catch all the names. Let me know if you're interested in getting any of those PDFs, and look forward to having a little more room so I have some justification in what I order in August. All right, and then I wanted to let you know that Carolina Cross Stitcher did put up the video of my shop tour. It doesn't have a number, but it's the very last one they put up on June 27th, and it's just called FlossTube Special, and then it has my shop name there. And I am one of 5 shops that she visited on a retreat round trip little tour with her husband. So Carolina Cross Stitcher is the wife of Pete's Bee-Skeps, if that keeps them separate from other people that might have Carolina in the title. Okay, so I wanted to remind you of that. And then the last thing is A Girl in Her Garden is going to go to Peggy Happy, and I already commented on her comment. So I think she's on our email list, but I've never sent her anything, so I don't have her address. So I'll get that out as soon as she responds. And there's no giveaway this time because I want you to think about the buy one, get one. So that's my little advertisement. And I guess that's it. I'll be back next week with more shop models. I saved a few, and probably some new charts, and hopefully some more progress on my stitching. So we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. I so enjoyed looking at everybody's, especially the seriously. This is making me crazy.